Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. I'm your host, K Freaking Mac. Back here once again, the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast, Season 3, Episode 2, recording live from a Saturday. March 8th is today's date. I still uploaded the last video to YouTube for the visuals, but at least the latest podcast is up. That was done February 11th, February 18th, something like that. And I just want to do a little episode as we head into the free agency period of the NFL offseason, which starts Monday. And just kind of update where we are, talk about a bunch of what ifs, just playing out all these wild scenarios that may happen over the next couple of days. So let's just dive right into this thing. As right now as it sits, the Steelers only have one quarterback on the roster, Skylar Thompson, who was a player they signed right after the Ravens playoff loss. So really we have no quarterback, essentially. Russell Wilson has not signed with the Steelers. Justin Fields has not re-signed with the Steelers. No re-signings as of now. And, nothing with Najee. Nothing with nobody outside of a tight end. Donald Parham or something. Another big body type of tight end. Probably just a training camp kind of guy at this point. And so the Steelers also did something with Cole Holcomb to create $4 million in cap space, cash to mess around with. So now we have top 6, top 5 most cap space in the NFL. I think it's like 59, 58 million, something like that. We could create even more cap space if we were to cut Larry Ogunjobi. He would really create some cap space, as well as Cordell Patterson. So we could really make some room here money-wise and make some moves this free agency period. I'm not sure if we are or we're not. I believe Omar Khan definitely has something up his sleeve. Not sure what that's going to be. But, I think over the last couple off seasons, he definitely made some acquisitions as he's had more cap space than Kevin Colbert had in his later years, just with all the money we had tied into Ben, some of the offensive players, and some other key guys. So we really have some room here to work with. And I think the first step for me, we need to establish who the fuck's going to be the quarterback, because why would a receiver want to come here not knowing who's going to be slinging the rock to him? It's going to be hard to get a receiver, whether it's via trade with DK Metcalf or Cooper Kupp, or whether that's signing a Devontae Adams or a Chris Godwin potentially, a Darius Slayton. There's also some other guys there you can maybe look at. And then, where else do you go? Cornerbacks, Jaden Reed. There's some other guys there, Charvarius Ward. Do you look at... I think this free agency, there's really more or less just a lot of corners and some receivers there you can really look to address. Add some guys, kind of help just establish a better core of team player guys as we head into the draft. But I think more than anything, we need to talk about the possibility of, what's going to happen if we do sign Russ. What does that say moving forward about the team? It's tough to say, who's going to be the cheap? I want whoever's cheaper, to be honest with you. Do we think Russ is going to be cheaper than Justin Fields? Do we think Russ is going to be a better player than Justin Fields this year? Well, I'm leaning towards no. Because with the way the offensive line played, the amount of sacks Russ had to take, whether that was holding the ball too long or just the line breaking down, especially at the tackle position, led by Broderick Jones and Dan Moore Jr., he didn't play his best ball, but at the same time, we also played our best ball with him in the lineup. But at the same time, we played Justin Fields on a short leash. It felt like we just had him manage the game, maintain the ball. But, that's just what the product is with Tomlin. The offense is just prehistoric. Manage the ball, limit, throws over the middle of the field. And so, really, with Russ, we didn't really see a lot of plays over the middle of the field because that really wasn't a part of his game in his latter years with Denver, and Mike Tomlin doesn't believe in, high-risk plays. So, is Russ going to be cheaper than Fields? I would think so, because Russ has already gotten his money. He's an older veteran. He probably just wants to play. Fields is 25. He has yet to really even get the bank in his career. He's had some good, obviously just, I guess a rookie contract is good money for the average person, but for an NFL player, he hasn't really gotten that contract yet. So does he want to look somewhere else where he might be offered more money by the Jets, maybe the Raiders? Well, the Raiders is traded for Geno Smith, so forget that. Maybe maybe the Giants. I don't know, just a team that can throw money at him, and maybe he's more interested in that. Or is Fields more interested in the fact that he would be in the second year of the Arthur Smith offense, so there's some kind of familiarity there. Arthur Smith wanted to keep with Fields, as a lot of the Steelers coaches on the sidelines, even players, and not even players, coaches in the facility, coaches on the sideline. If anyone remembers, prior to that Jets game, a lot of the coaches wanted to stay with Fields. But Mike Tomlin has the final say, as he has with a lot of things pertaining to this team. And so it was his call, and obviously he flexed with that and stood tall after that Jets game. But, Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson didn't really get along, I guess. So, I don't know. Say we don't get Russ. Say we get Fields. I'm more or less on board with Fields. If the money isn't marginally different, I'm not opposed to spending more for Fields, because I think Fields is the better player for this team moving forward. Because with Russ, I still get feelings of 9-8. I don't see us being worse than 9-8 with Russell Wilson, but I don't see the ceiling being much higher. I think, especially when you look at the schedule this season, who we're going to play. With Russ, I don't know if I can see 10 wins, maybe 9. But with Fields, I can see the ceiling being higher, but there's a lower ceiling as well, a lower floor as well, based on how we build this team and what we're going to do. If Fields, shits the bed, say we give him a 2-year, $30 million contract, I'm fine with that, because then we're not taped, we're not stuck to him, and we can move on next year, draft somebody next year if everything goes bad. But if Fields performs well, you at least have a capable guy moving forward for the next 2 or 3 years, and you can still maybe take someone next year if you feel the need to. But I think more than anything, we need to at least, if we're going to sign Fields, we need to stick with Fields the rest of the season. We cannot pull a fucking carpet under his feet and draft somebody in the first, second round, because then it's like, well, at that point, we might as well just sign somebody else, see an older veteran quarterback that's a filler for 1 or 2 years, and then fucking tank. If we're going to sign Fields, just add the best players we can in the draft, the best players we can, whether that's another running back, obviously another receiver for sure, potentially a defensive lineman. Just add the best players we can, go all in this year, and add some players that we think are going to be good for the future and now. And then see and let the chips fall where they may. But that's if we sign Fields. My gut tells me right now, I honestly think we're going to let Russ and Fields test the market. I think Fields gets signed somewhere else. And you may be looking at a situation where Russ doesn't really like what's out there, and he comes back to us. That seems pretty likely to me. And I would just be pretty non-enthusiastic about this upcoming season. And honestly, I don't really have high expectations for this team this year. When I look at the schedule, the way we're built now, we don't have a quarterback. We don't really have a running back besides Jaylen Warren on the roster. Who's going to be our wide receiver too? Don't know. Roman Wilson didn't play last year. I think he'll step into a wide receiver 3/4 role along with Calvin Austin III. Are we actually going to play anything different schematically wise? Probably not. It's going to be the same product as long as Tomlin's there. We just know what it is. And unless he's willing to change his ways, why would I think different? The defense will probably be solid, but they definitely need to schematically change up some shit. Allow TJ to move the fuck around. Move around Highsmith, Herbig, those guys, Cam Hayward. Add some guys to the front seven. Resign Landon Roberts. It looks like we're going to have Cole Holcomb. Maybe we're going to keep him instead of Landon Roberts. I would much rather add Landon Roberts as well. Have a good linebacker core with those four. Peyton Wilson, PQ, Roberts, and Cole Holcomb. Obviously need to sign another cornerback as Dante Jackson's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Corey Trice Jr. Showed some flashes, but can't really rely on him because he's injury prone. So who the fuck's going to be our cornerback too? Who knows? And I like DeShon Elliott and Minkah, but the problem is with Minkah, if we're going to play him as a guy who just keeps the lid and everything, why the fuck are we paying him $20 million? Let him do his thing. Play him where he has chances to make plays on the ball. I don't understand why we have him fucking just as an over-the-top option. I'd rather fucking just trade him at that point. But there also needs to be a situation where we talk about, what if we lose Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? At that point, you're looking at, you're probably going to have to sign. At that point, I would rather sign a free agency quarterback, the guy I would want is Mason Rudolph if he doesn't go back to Tennessee. He knows us pretty well, familiarity there. He knows how Talon likes to run an offense. I think he played okay with Tennessee, and I wouldn't be opposed to it, rather than trying to reach on a quarterback in the first round, or rather than spending a shit ton of money for maybe Kirk Cousins or a Rodgers. I don't know. The only older veteran quarterback I would have been cool with would be Matthew Stafford. I don't want Kirk Cousins. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Daniel Jones. I do not want Jameis Winston. There's not really a good answer at quarterback besides Fields or maybe Russ. I'd rather get somebody that knows us and is familiar with our game, and we're familiar with their game. So I'd rather have Russ, Fields, or even Mason Rudolph. But if we don't do any of those things, my worst nightmare, like I said, is reaching on a quarterback in the first round. See what we did for Kenny Pickett a couple years back in that 2022 draft, which set us back. I don't care what anyone says. If you take a quarterback in the first round and he's gone off your team within 2 years, you fucked up. You fucked up. You could have gotten a starter there. You could have gotten somebody that at least is on our team, contributing. Obviously, if they're an all-pro or a Pro Bowler, that'd be dope. But if they're not, at least they're on the team. But, for whatever reason, things just didn't work. So, I don't know. No moves have been made, but I don't know. I hope we get Fields. If not, I don't know. We have a lot of money, and Tomlin said there was going to be a lot of changes on all levels. There has not been any of that. So, I'm remaining optimistic. I would love to see us add a receiver or two through free. I would love to see us add, probably, definitely a cornerback would be dope. I would like to see us add a cornerback, somebody that's been in the league, knows how to play. Just a reliable corner. Just another reliable corner would be good. And then give us another receiver or two. And then let's go into the draft. See what else we can make happen. Let the chips where they fall. But as we speak today, it looks like they're going to throw Broderick Jones back at left tackle. Dan Moore Jr. is probably going to go. So hopefully we can see a lineup of Broderick Jones at left tackle, Isaac Seumalo at left guard, Zach Frazier in year 2 at center. James Daniels is a free agent. So maybe we'll sling another guard. I'm not opposed to that either. Not that I don't have confidence in Mason McCormick, but I I think he needs to just kind of, learn a little bit. Don't just throw him right to the fire. But unfortunately, because of injury, he was thrown to that position. And then we're going to finally see Troy Fautanu at right tackle. So it's like, do you really want your entire right side of your line to be unproven players? I don't know. I'm not opposed to getting a good guard if we can get one. Probably in free agency, not the draft. And, I'm looking at offense. Add a guard. Add a receiver or two if you can. Not opposed to maybe a veteran running back. Maybe a Nick Chubb. Maybe a J.K. Dobbins. But I would much rather address that position with a young, explosive running back in the draft because there are a lot of those, especially in the later rounds of rounds 2, 3, potentially 4. But we definitely need another running back, someone with some speed and juice. I don't think we're going to sign Najee here. I don't think we're going to resign him, which it's unfortunate because I thought Najee I liked him. A good leader. Kept things real, and never really threw dirt where there should have been dirt thrown at times. Played his ass off, I'll say that. The dude was durable, reliable, never really fumbled the ball. Played his best, gave it his just hard to bring down, just high effort, high motor. But I just wish he was a little bit faster. I just wish he had some more juice to his game, but. Did we ever really put him in the best position with some of our offensive line play? Probably not. And it's unfortunate, but, it's not too often you see a lot of running backs get signed to that second contract anyway. So it is what it is. And then we got to look at George Pickens in a room full of unproven players. I like having Austin III. I think he can offer some good things, especially in the special teams aspect. And then Roman Wilson's unproven. Definitely have to add a receiver. There's guys there. We can add Devontae Adams. Could maybe make a trade for DK Metcalf, but then that requires some draft capital and taking out his contract. So that's a lot to handle. Hopefully we address that in free agency before the draft and then add somebody in the draft. I expect that to be the move. And then that way, we're not reaching and feeling like we have to do this, and this on draft day. Let the best players come to us as they may. But we'll talk about that and preview that as we get closer. But I would definitely do another episode here in a couple days. After the first wave of free agency, or anytime we get breaking news, something big, Monday is going to be crazy. I think tomorrow or even early Monday morning / afternoon, that's when all the leaks are to come out. So we'll know Monday during that first half of the day. And even leading up to I think 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock is when it starts. So I don't know. I'm just gonna be very interested to see what the fuck happens. But I think that'll do it for today. Getting ready to go watch some UFC fights. Hope you enjoyed the podcast episode, season 3, episode 2. Hope you all have a good weekend. Stay safe and. We'll check back here later next week. Hope you all enjoyed this podcast episode, the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. We are everywhere. Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. We're on it. We got it. We got this thing. Peace out.